Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, the one and only your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar Tim Vicious. Talking about Payback, it was this past Sunday, and yeah, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I walked into that pay-per-view wanting to be entertained, and I was entertained. I had good matches. The only bad match that in my opinion, that was on there was the women's match, but I'll get to that one when we talk about that. But either way, the show was really good and it was really solid. I liked it. So bravo to you guys for it. You know, first matchup, it was the pre-show, Torito versus Hornswoggle, hair versus mask. In which case, oh my god, that was so hilarious. The only problem was there was no tiny tables. There was no tiny tables and there was no midget commentators. I so wanted them again. Yeah, it was, but I mean, then again, I also grew up seeing midget fighting a lot, so, you know, I walked into that match knowing what the hell to expect, seeing a midget fight, you know. But anyways, Torito wound up getting the win. Swoggle wound up, on how that came to be, Swoggle went to go and rip off the mask. He did. Torito had one on top of another. Next, you know, Torito did a springboard moonsault onto him, got the 1, 2, 3, that was it. Next, you know, buzzed half of his head. And Hornswoggle now looks like frickin' Jason Voorhees in 1/8 of his size. In fact, maybe that could be his new gimmick. We shall call him Mini Jason. No, I didn't hear no so I don't think it would work. Damn it. Anyways, on with the main show now. First match of the night, it was U.S. title match, Sheamus versus Cesaro. And yeah, it's first and foremost, the way Paul worked the crowd right when he came out before Cesaro did, it was so beautiful. So he comes out, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And of course, since they're in Chicago, cue the chants, CM Punk. And the way Paul worked the crowd right there, it was just beautiful, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's not here in this arena." And man, the crowd just shut up right then and there, like, oh damn, he just put us in our place. In which case, again, Paul, thank you. Now, if we could just have something like that on a nightly basis, the second they go to start doing the CM Punk chants, then I would really appreciate it. You know, I mean, I got nothing against the guy for walking out when he needed to. I did the same thing, you know? But it's not the fact that he walked away from the business, but the way he did it. Just up and saying, fuck this, I'm out. That's the problem that I got, and that's the beef that I have with Punk over that. Other than that, you know, I got no problem with him with the fact that he walked away, because I had to do the same thing, you know? But you know, that's a whole other story meant for another time, but just please, people, stop fucking chanting for him. You know, he quit, he's retired, deal with it. Anyways, the Cesaro and Sheamus match, it was really good. I liked it. You know, and they're both, and for two big guys like that, you know, going at it, it was really good. You know, I thoroughly loved it. I loved it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, was disappointed with the end. Sheamus won, and with all things, it was like a small package or a roll up, one of them, but you know, I mean, hell, even Paul said it the next day on Raw. An Irishman using that kind of a tactic to win a fight? And, you know, this coming from somebody that's full-blooded Irish, you know. Second generation here in I'm second generation family for being born in America. But, you know, it's just straight up saying that, that Irishman should move to a country like France where those kind of tactics are allowed. Dude, that's cold-blooded, even for me. Damn. But, anyways, I'm going to talk about one or two other things that happened the following night on Raw, also on this show, which is a little taboo since I don't normally do that on the pay-per-view follow-ups. Next matchup, it was something it really impromptu, just right out of nowhere. Ryback versus Cody Dust. This match, it was good. It's just, I mean, it just didn't have that pay-per-view wow, you know? And I mean, of course, Ryback and Curtis Axel, I'm pretty sure two mentally retarded monkeys could wrestle better. But, well, no, I take that back, because, that's insultive and that's rude. No one should ever have to insult a mentally retarded monkey like that. But anyways, the match, I mean, wasn't really all that. I mean, I wasn't really all that much behind it, just because, really? I mean, there was no build-up, no good story for it, just, oh, woo-hoo-hoo, Ryback's picking on Cody Dust for losing. And they won, surprisingly, in which case my reaction was, Ryback won a match on a pay-per-view. What in the world is this planet coming to? And then after the match, Cody just grabbed the mic and said, brother to brother, you need a new tag team partner, the Goldust, and then walked away. So, hopefully now they're going to build up, if they can do this right, they'll build up a match between Cody and Goldust. Doesn't have to be a WrestleMania match like everyone was saying that was going to happen, but, everyone's going to want to see them because nothing truer than the saying, nobody fights like family. But next matchup, Rusev versus Big E, in which case one of my favorite parts of the show, Lana! Oh yes. And again, Lana coming out, getting that cheap heat with the patriotism thing, talking about on how Russia is now the new only superpower, and, and again, pulling out Putin, all that kind of stuff. And it's really good. And this is starting to become my second favorite patriotic story. The number one still, no matter what. And I'm sorry, you can't convince me otherwise. Just because I grew up seeing it firsthand. With Sergeant Slaughter being an Iraqi sympathizer. That is by far my favorite patriotic story. But this one, it's getting up there in the ranks. It's just like right maybe about here, and the Sergeant Slaughter one's right here. And Big E came out, Big E, Rusev. This was a match I was really impressed with. Because, Big E, we already know he can work with really big guys like Rusev and Jack Swagger. But he can also work with little guys, He can also work with smaller guys, too. Like Rey Mysterio or Sin Cara. But he did that, and the match itself, it was really good. And I was really impressed with on how they both worked it. I mean, Rusev wound up getting the win in the end, and which, he's going to get more. He's going to get, now, according to the dirt sheets, they're going to build him up. They're basically going to use the same kind of build up for him like they did with Umaga. In which case, once I found that out, it hit me like a sack of potatoes. Don't go making any Irish jokes just because I'm the Irish guy and I used a potato reference. Oh God, they're going to have him lose to Cena now sometime in the future. Just because, Cena and Umaga. That's just, but I'm really hoping that's not the case. Next match, Well, I don't even know if you can call this a match. They said on the pre-show Kofi is now on the card going up against Bo Dallas. Bo came out, next thing you know, right before the bell rings, boosh, up comes the pyro, and then comes out Kane. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the name wrong. The Demon Kane came out, obliterated Kofi, chokeslam, tombstone, the whole shebang, and then just walked off. Bo came in, said, "It's okay, you can do better because you can, because all you gotta do is believe." In which case, I'm as far as with Bo, like I said, and I got into an argument with a dude on this. I don't have any problems with him or his gimmick. It's just, it confuses me because they keep him, but they drop Hero. They dropped Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno in NXT, who was 10 times the wrestler Bo is because of his figure, and yet they keep Bo even though with his. You know, it just confuses me. I got nothing against Bo. I absolutely love the gimmick. I love the character. It's that, you know, it's because it's just so annoying. It drives me up a wall, and I'm old-fashioned. I want to hate my bad guys. I don't want to be like, "Oh, he's a heel now. Yay!" No, I want to hate my bad guys. I'm going to be like, I want to actually look at them and be like, "Dude, this guy is being a freaking heel. I can't stand him." In which case, on Raw, one person in particular, I won't say who yet, wound up going heel and did that, and I absolutely loved it. I'll get to that later on in the show. But, anyways, next up, IC match, Rob Van Dam versus Bad News Barrett, in which case, my biggest disappointment of the night for this match was, I really wanted Bad News Barrett to come out, the cult of personality with a hoodie on over his face, and then just lift his face up and be like, "If you are expecting someone else, I'm afraid I've got some bad news," because that would have put him over as a full-on heel. I guarantee that would have, you know, the people there would have hated him. You know, he'd have had to gone out wearing like 3 different masks, and he'd have had to leave the building wearing a mask and an outfit 2 sizes too big so nobody could recognize him to get out. And that is the kind of heat that, you know, you really want a bad guy to have. You know? Because, I mean, I would fight tooth and nail to get that kind myself. But enough on that. I want to talk about with the RVD Bad News Barrett match. It was pretty good, you know. I mean, but Rob, Rob just feels like he's kind of going through the grind, you know. He's just going through the grind, doing his normal spots. Kick here, toss there, jump here, springboard there. You know, Rob doesn't really seem like he's all that much into it now. And, you know, aside from that, I've said it a million times before, Rob Van Dam is pretty much boring as hell now because he's still stuck in 1998, thinks it's cool to wear airbrush singlets, smoke a shit ton of weed, and just be like, "Dude, yeah, man." I mean, no, it's not that fun and cool anymore, Rob. Please, stop that. You're insulting yourself, and you're making yourself you're going to make yourself the butt of almost any and every joke I can think of known to man. Although I was impressed, part I was really impressed with this match, Barrett went to go hit the bullhammer, missed, wound up catching the ring post. He sold that. He really wrenched that well, like if he hit it, like, ah! And then went and hit it again on Van Dam in the ring, got the win. But man, I was legitimately worried, like, oh, please don't tell me he just fucked up his arm and now he's gonna leave. He just started getting a good ride. But thankfully he's still on. So, whew. Thank you. Next matchup, last man standing, Cena versus Bray Wyatt. Saying this first and foremost right now, anyone had a problem with the fact that Cena won, I swear, All you are, you motherfucking cocksuckers, are nothing more but a bunch of marks because honestly, Bray did not have to win this match. And I've brought this up a million times before. Bray is doing, the way Bray's working this feud, it's a psychological thing. He's making Cena get more ruthless, get more vicious. Basically kind of like what Kane was doing with the Embrace the Hate thing, but with more like a psychedelic, psychological mind game kind of way. And I mean, case in point, Cena now, instead of having 5 moves of doom, he now has 6. Because now, in his arsenal, is throwing the stairs. Don't believe me? Watch Payback and then watch the Raw the night after. Because he throws the stairs like it's a freaking softball, and they're just like, my God, now he's got 6 moves of doom. But the match itself, it was really good. Got really confused at the fact that the Usos came out. You know, to help, but mostly because I'm wondering why in God's good name are the Usos getting dragged into this. Thankfully, it got explained on Raw with Harper, of all people, explaining it. Yes, Harper, not Bray, saying they're going to take out the Usos and they're going to destroy them. Basically, and you know, they even won the titles at a house show, and the decision got reversed that night. So I'm pretty sure they were doing that just as like a cock tease to kind of help see on how the crowd would react to it. Personally, I want the Wyatts to win. I'm friggin' loving Harper because he's like a mix between Cactus Jack and Bruiser Brody, and you know, he's throwing out moves like if he was friggin' Mike Awesome, that Judas. You know, don't get me started on Mike Awesome. Again, grew up in the original ECW. I still have problems with him. God rest his soul. But the match itself with Cena and Bray, it was really good and which is saying something considering I've been going on non-stop on how I hate last man standing matches. This is probably one of my favorite last man standing matches. And for me to say that in regards to a Cena match, you're going to have to just think about that one for a minute. Yeah. Anyways, how Cena won, he wound up doing the AA on Bray right through a production crate, and then tossed another one right on top of him. Kind of like what Del Rio did to Big Show to win the World Heavyweight title about a year ago. A little over a year ago, but either way, Cena got the 10 count, he won, so that was it. Next match, one I had a problem with. Women's match, Paige versus Alicia. It was it just really didn't feel like it didn't feel like they were clicking that night to me. You know? I mean, it's just, eh. I mean, they both didn't seem like they were putting on their A game, just like, oh, okay, we have a show. Let's go and do this. Okay. That kind of an attitude, and that kind of an attitude I always hate, because, you know, it doesn't matter if you're doing a house show, or if you're doing Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, main event, pay-per-view, a frickin' Sunday Night Heat even, we'll say, that gets aired 3 months later. You go out there and you put in 100% of everything you got, because, you know, I hate to break it to you guys, but how else are you planning on getting noticed and moving up the food chain? Because honestly, that's what you're really gonna do. That's what you gotta do. You know? But either way, Paige wound up getting the win. She wound up doing the Scorpion Crosslock. They now call it the Paige Knockout or Tap Out or whatever. I don't know, one of them. Alicia, she didn't do her normal crazy, I'm gonna have a huge hissy fit kind of thing. Instead, just was like, ah! And then ran back like this, which, yeah. You know, even though Alicia Fox is now acting crazy enough to be either one of my ex-girlfriends or a current girlfriend, I'm pretty sure I would be kind of iffy about dating her if she really did run like that in real life. Next matchup, main event. Next matchup, it was the main event. Shield versus Evolution in a no-holds-barred elimination match. And, dude, I just want to say first and foremost, again, to any of you rotten little cocksuckers that keep on saying, Triple H buries talent. He looks at somebody and says, "You're young, have skills, and are talented. Prepare to get buried by my services." Really? Dude, come on. Come up with something a little more original, and also watch this match, because the Shield got over, and I mean massively over, with them. Now, before I talk about the match, really big funny part, Evolution comes out. Randy Orton, all looking mean, fierce, lean in his black trunks. Triple H coming out, mean, fierce, lean in his black trunks. Dave Bautista looking mean and fierce in his blue trunks. In which case, I'm pretty sure Hunter just looked at Randy and was like, "You told him we were all gonna wear blue, didn't you? You are such a bastard." Because honestly, I didn't know if Batista looked like a young Papa Smurf with a brown beard, or that one girl from the Willy Wonka movie that was blue and swelled up like a freaking balloon. Like, I was laughing just seeing that. Like, dude, really? Dave, you cannot pull off blue trunks. No. Although I do give him credit for wrestling wearing Jordans. Other than that, though, just no. Don't do the blue, Dave. You can't. But Shield came out, and part of the match that confused me, and thank God I had people I was watching the match, I was watching the show with. I had a couple people over. I do like a little pay-per-view party for it since I got the network. And I was saying, it's no holds bar. Why are they in corners tagging like it's a regular match? And one dude hit the nail on the head. Help keep control of the mayhem. They'll wind up going batshit crazy soon enough. And thank God somebody explained that to me, otherwise I'd still be scratching my head. And I'm not ashamed to admit, I get a lot of my ideas from other people talking about random other things, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, they could do that. And then turn it into this and this and this and this and this. So I bounce off of people a lot. But anyways, biggest spot in that match was Seth Rollins. Everyone says it was him doing a New Jack jump off of the lights. Me, it reminded me more of when Sabu jumped off of the big Raw R when ECW invaded Raw. That was just, what the fuck? That, and I give Roman Reigns so much credit for that beating he took. Getting laid out on the stairs, getting his gear ripped off, and then just taking Singapore shot after shot of the Singapore Canes. I give that kid respect right there. And I call him a kid because, you know, I call everyone kid. That's just me. So, you know, just go with it. I give that kid respect. He took that beating even though he didn't have to. And, man, he is now in a whole new light in my book. I give respect to everyone that walks in that ring, but that's as far as it goes. You want personal respect, you got to earn it. That guy right there, he just earned my personal respect for taking that beating and taking it like a man. You know, there was nothing ever saying at any point in time. He could have wound up earlier in the day just looking and saying, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't taking that spot. But he did it anyway. And, you know, it's how the match came to end. Shield was getting overwhelmed. Next thing you know, Reigns was on the verge of getting pinned. Rollins does a freaking save, and then Reigns winds up doing a spear right on Batista, and Rollins just rolls himself over. 1, 2, 3, and then next thing you know, Randy, he's got Roman up for for the elevated DDT, and Dean comes over, chair right to the back, and then headlock driver right onto the chair, got the 1, 2, 3, and then Hunter's just looking like, you know, motherfuckers, if I'm going down, I'm going down fighting. Randy slides him a hammer, and he's got it up. He's about to go and take it, go and bash it against Roman's head. Seth, right out of nowhere, like a freaking ninja, knee to the head, and then Reigns spears him. They get the 1, 2, 3. That was just phenomenal. The Shield wound up getting over big time with that match. Now, the part that I was talking about with Raw, they wound up saying earlier at the beginning of the show, Dave was getting fed up that they were still fighting the Shield and he wanted his title shot. Hunter said, you'll get it, but first we're going to finish this. Dave said, fine, I quit. In which case, go figure, the only time Batista gets a positive ovation from the crowd is when he winds up saying he quits. Fast forward to the end of the night. During that night, they said that they were going to book a match between Roman and Randy. Shield's in the ring. They cut a promo on how they wound up, on how Evolution imploded on themselves. And, you know, and then Reigns says, Randy, come on out here because I'm going to beat your ass, boy. And then Randy comes on out with Hunter. Hunter's holding the sledge, and he just looks. And all the while, Dean and Seth are in the ring, Seth with the chair in hand. All the while, Hunter just looks and says, beating you guys was plan A. This is plan B. And then Seth, wham, chair right to the back of Reigns, and then wham, takes out Dean, and then does the blackout right on the Dean, right on the chair, and then they just tear Reigns apart. In which case, the entire time I'm just like, I was legitimately shocked. I did not expect it. And that is what I want when I'm watching a wrestling show. I want to get sucked in and completely surprised because that's on how you hook people. That's the cold hard truth. Because you'll have people that are Smarky McSmarkertons and be like, oh yeah, this person's definitely going to win. Oh, that guy's going to get ready to go over. Next thing you know, just do a good old-fashioned Vince Russo swerve and boom, throw them through a curve and just be like, well, I didn't see that coming. And I absolutely loved it. Now Seth's definitely going to be going up there in the ranks, and I guarantee within the next 2-3 years, Seth's going to be headlining Mania. You know. Now, anyways, that's all the time for this week's show. So, like all normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter jail every now and again. Also, don't forget to check out all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. My brother from another mother, James Belmont, JX2001. That Roxy girl, Vicky Earls. Roxy and Vicky got their own YouTube channels. Make sure y'all check them out. Mucky Morris. I am Danny Sunday. Yeah, I just screwed them up. Deal with it. Helen Robson 82. Axel Mulligan. Also, make sure y'all check out. Make sure you check out his other account, Darren Drambles, as well as Axel's Analysis. Man, appreciate you giving me that. Appreciate you reminding me to go and check your show out for NXT TakeOver. I absolutely loved it, man. Sunday Segway. Kenny can't wait to get back on there again. Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Ava Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Also, y'all make sure you check out Ollie Benz and Masked Mark's TNA Turnaround show. I wound up guesting on there this week, in which case, Mark, you're a piece of shit. And that's all the time for that. So, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.